Welcome to the Made in Monroe podcast. Today I have the opportunity really of kind of interviewing a hero in Monroe. I would say a hero in Monroe. Billy, tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me, who is Billy Haddad?
Well, before I say that, I'm going to thank you and the Chamber
Okay.
for being young entrepreneurs to get something started here for a younger group. I mean, the leadership that y'all are doing for the Chamber is phenomenal, and thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Who is Billy Haddad? That's a good question. I'm 76 years old, still working, but I enjoy what I do, and that's kind of the quality of life that I've chosen.
Right.
And could have retired years ago. We used to have a men's retail store called Haddad's Menswear, and we can go into that later, how that evolved, and I retired from that and went in the real estate business, retired from that, got bored, and my friend Van Pardew hired me, and actually we was on the board of Horizons Bank, and it morphed into American Horizons, and when it morphed into Iberia Bank, and then we went to Community Trust Bank, which is now Origin Bank.
Right.
And I'm the market leader for Northeast Louisiana. So a lot of history there, but it's a long story when you've got 76 years in this community.
Right.
So born and raised here, absolutely love it. As your dad said a while ago, it's just a quality of life in Monroe, Louisiana. You know, I'm an outdoorsman. I love to hunt and fish. That's kind of my pastime. But anybody that lives here, I mean, you're 5 minutes from golf, 5 minutes from baseball for your kids,
Right.
5 minutes from the church you want to go to, 5 minutes from any kind of recreation you love, 5 minutes from volunteering to helping others.
Right.
Just the quality of life is just unbelievable here. And I would never leave it, just like your dad said. I've never had opportunity to go to big cities, but I've traveled and absolutely cannot stand the traffic, cannot stand what you've got to do to get somewhere. You spend half your day traveling.
We're spoiled here.
We're spoiled, very spoiled.
Yeah, we're spoiled here. Tell me, your family has had just a lot of opportunity here in Monroe. You guys had the store Haddad's. You've got plenty of other businesses and things here in the city that I don't think people even know about. So kind of tell me a little bit about your history and your family's history here in Monroe.
We've been blessed, to be honest with you,
Right.
Colby. It's been a phenomenal ride for my family, and we appreciate the community, the people here, such a giving community. But starting out, we were way back, my dad had a store on Desired Street. And believe it or not, back then, Desired was a dirt road.
Wow.
Not in the early 30s. And I'll never forget as a kid being in that store. We had Boy Scout stuff, we had ladies stuff, we had men and boys stuff. And every afternoon, we would cover the goods on the table because it was so dusty from all of the dust up and down the street. I mean, there was still horse carriage going down there.
That's amazing.
And it is amazing. And I remember at night when we'd cover the goods up, we'd sweep that old oil floor with a broom to get all the dust out for the next day. So that's kind of where my family started. We're 6 brothers.
Right.
So we had a hardware and appliance business, and then we had the men and boys business, the ladies business. So we were pretty instrumental down with all the businesses on Desired way back. I mean, that was it. And I'll never forget my dad and his brothers arguing about a move.
Right.
They said, why do we want to move from here, you know? They argued, and finally they decided they're going to make the move. They moved to 5th and Pine Street. And it was the same year that Penny's came to town, and they were the big department store, and they moved up on Louisville. Mm-hmm. And we didn't have them all then, so then we were kind of the second department store because we carried a full line of everything. And we were there for 15 or 20 years, and then in the later years, as my dad got older, my brother and I, Joey, and my sister worked.
We don't have to talk about Joey today.
Yeah, no, we don't want to talk about it too long. And Deborah, of course, who works for y'all now. But we moved up to Avenue of America and developed a shopping center there. And
Which is still around today.
Yeah, it's still there today. I've got great stores in it. We've been, like I said, we've been blessed with people that have traded with us for. Our store was 85 years old. And then when we closed and Joseph A. Banks took our location, the Men and Boys store, it was still a vibrant shopping center. We really appreciate the community supporting us during that time. So anyway, I worked there, and then I was retired after that, basically, Joey and I, and he was running the real estate side, and I was kind of looking for opportunities, and I got bored to death. So you know what I did? I said, I went to, actually Van Pardue came to me and said, I got a job for you. So what is it? I want you to handle all our business development for the bank. I said, Van, I don't know, I'm not a banker. I've had some finance experience, I've run a business, I've run some real estate, but I'm not a banker. So don't worry about that, I don't need that. I need somebody that can go out in the community, love on our customers, get involved in our volunteer work all over town, promote the bank, and you're the guy. I said, I don't know if I can do it. He said, give it a try. Well, it's morphed in now, and I'm, fortunately and thankfully, market leader for Northeast Louisiana. And we pride ourselves in our community and our volunteerism, our project enrich opportunities that we have. Gosh, I don't know how important it is for our employees to get involved in the community. They believe more about their job and helping their community than they do actually working. Banking's banking, but when you give back with your heart into the community, that's what's important for us. And I've got some employees at work and co-workers that are just phenomenal. We just won the Spirit of Community Award last night at the T.H. Scott Awards, so I was very pleased to be honored with that award for the bank, for sure.
Well, the Haddad name is just kind of a household name. I mean, I grew up knowing all of you guys, and so, I do think that your family has just found such success here, but you as an individual have too. And so, given your success, you really could have gone on to a big city or elsewhere and been just as successful, if not more. Why Monroe? Why have you chosen to plant roots here and stay here? I think you've said a few reasons, but what are the other reasons that you've chosen to stay here? Well,
I want to reiterate the main reason. It's because of the people here and a giving and caring attitude. The second reason is the ease of doing business here, Colby. It's easy. We know everyone. We have kind of a little, I hate to say it's like a brotherhood. It kind of reminds me of this community when we have a catastrophe like Tarver Braddock dying, and the whole community at Neville, I'll never forget that night when we all circled around with candles. I'm not talking about people from Neville, I'm talking about from West Monroe or Sterlington, came together to honor that family and that child and their loss. This is the kind of community you want to live in. They care, and that's what I do. I care about everyone that lives here. Hey, also for my kids, I want to bring them up in an atmosphere that is loving, kind. My favorite Bible verse is Galatians 5:22, the fruits of the Spirit, joy, love, peace, da-da-da. So those attributes from this community are flowing throughout. The second thing is people care and they're giving back to their community. And that's what I love about my bank and my job. We have this program, I think I mentioned it earlier, called Project Enrich. We pay our employees to go back and give back to the community. And it's not just about the pay and getting to do it, but it gives them the opportunity to go out and do it. And then after hours, they don't get paid for that, but they do it from their heart. They're not interested in getting any recognition for it. However, everybody likes recognition, but they're doing it because they care. And they want this place to be impactful as a caring community, what they've done. I mean, I learned this kind of when I was chairman of the campaign at United Way. Janet came to me and asked me would I be interested in church. I said, Janet, I can't do this. Yes, you can. You know everybody. I want you to do it. I'll guide you through it. The staff's incredible. I learned more from that campaign drive about a giving and caring community than anything I've ever done. I was supported 100% by my company. I was supported 100% by that staff. As a community, we raised a phenomenal amount of money, more than our goal. And I got to go to every agency in town and learn about what they do for people here. And to me, if you don't see that that's a place you want to live, then you don't need to live here. Right. Because it's great.
Well, thank you too. I mean, I feel like kind of my generation and people that are younger than me, like we're standing on the shoulders of you guys that have gone before us and have really kind of paved that way. But even more than that, you've really set an example for us to give back to the community that has given so much to us. And so thank you for that as well. Just from a business perspective now, what would you say the benefits are to running a company here in Monroe as opposed to a Dallas or a Los Angeles or Atlanta?
Well, I think your daddy alluded to it. I mean, there's lots of people here, talented people.
Right.
We need jobs. Our company actually has grown to over a $10 billion bank. Even though we don't tout as a big bank, we like to be still considered a community local bank, which we are, because we hire local people, community people. And, to accomplish those big goals is great, but each community is kind of like a little silo. And Ruston, Monroe, Freeport. And so we thrive in those communities and we love to give back to the communities we serve. That's our mission statement. So that being said, we have banks in big cities. We have banks in Dallas, we have banks in Houston and Jackson, but Monroe is still, to me and to the people that work here, one of the best places to live. And we wouldn't leave it. Yeah. Not going to leave it, but just because of convenience, the love. The three things I really hang my hat on are faith in God, faith in family, and faith in relationships. Right. And the relationship part is what drives our community. There's no question about it. And it's phenomenal. I mean, the chamber, chairman of the chamber when Sue Nicholson was there. I served on the chamber for probably 21 years. And it's a phenomenal organization that promotes business here. And to me, the future is brighter than it's ever been. Right. Roy's done a phenomenal job. I mean, look at what we've got on the horizon for you young people to take over. Absolutely. Finally got Kansas Lane. I worked on that 25 years ago. But I mean, we got Amtrak coming. It's going to be a huge economic benefit. We got that indoor sports facility over in West Monroe, which we title sponsored that because we know the impact that's going to have on restaurants, hotels, the whole thing with bringing all the folks in. We got the biomedical center. We got VCOM, great university. Ron Berry and them are just phenomenal, and it's growing. And, people that have never been on that campus, it's phenomenal when you drive through that campus, how beautiful it looks on the bayou and that VCOM building out there. We've got all this money through the mayor to help us with infrastructure, which is so important today in the older cities as things start to deteriorate. And so we'll alleviate our flooding problems. So, man, we've got a lot of money coming in here. We've got a lot of opportunity. The Amazon deal's another one out there that, who would think that Monroe would get an Amazon center?
Monroe's on the move.
I know it. We're on the move. Thanks to you young folks, the chamber, and the mayor, and, Ouachita Parish Police Jury come together. And that's another thing I think we've done. And I like to see this because we've got branches in Monroe, West Monroe. We've come together. The mayors have come together to not look individually. Let's look regionally. Yeah. And that's what's important. Yeah.
Let's don't let a bridge and a river divide us, right? We've got to be unified going forward.
I agree. And it helps us all. You know that.
It does help us all. One of the things I want to ask you, I think as young people that are graduating and they're looking for jobs, I think a lot of times young people can have kind of stars in their eyes and be lured to a larger city or a metroplex that maybe has what they would say more to offer. And so I guess my question to you would be, why stay in Monroe? What are the reasons to stay here, to plant roots here, to raise your family here, and to be in contact with businesses that are in this area and to be a part of what they are doing?
Well, first thing is there is a lot of light in the big cities, a lot of glory, a lot of things to do, but it costs you a lot of money to live there. So our cost of living, and your daddy mentioned this, is very low considering what we have to offer. I went to the Monroe Symphony Orchestra the other night, and it was something that I had not seen. I mean, New York didn't have anything better than that symphony orchestra was. They brought in a guy where we got a great arts community for young people to get involved in. We've got, great nonprofits to get involved in. We've got incredible sports facilities all around town. Sterlington, I mentioned the sports complex. You got Ruston over there that's got a great sports complex. Louisiana Tech, ULM. I mean, everything to raise a family, be successful in your companies, enjoy living. The quality of life is, to me, number one. And you can do that here in Monroe, Louisiana. No other place you can do it. Look, I've traveled not as much as your dad, but when you go to these big cities, you can enjoy those kind of opportunities, but you're driving in your car half the time. The people are mad at everything. They've been driving on those highways.
They're not happy.
They're not happy. They're not happy at all. So
well, I can remember, whenever Dad purchased Pillar Hotels and Resorts over in Dallas, I worked out of that office for a little bit before I came to Monroe, and I will never forget calling him one day, and I said, it takes me an hour and a half to get to the office. I'm literally 10 miles from it. It takes me 2 hours to get home at night. This is miserable. I'm coming home.
And you're mad when you get to work.
Well, you're mad. And then not only that, but here in Monroe, you can at least walk in the grocery store and you're probably going to see 20 friendly faces to the point that I'm like, okay, 5 o'clock, not going to the grocery store tonight because I'll be there for an hour talking to people, So it just is a community that is great. I feel like it's welcoming.
It's very welcoming. And Colby, I saw your husband out the other day with the kid. It reminded me on the float boat. I mean, we didn't, highlight our rivers and the opportunities, recreational opportunities there with our lakes, and Jared was out there with your kids, and Judy and I were out there riding down the bayou, watching the sunset, and it's just a peace about this town. It's a peace, and we're blessed to have it. And people don't realize what we really have here till they're here.
Yes.
Now, your daddy made a good comment, and I've had a lot of folks come into town, and I'll take them on a ride, sunset cruise on the bayou. They've never seen anything like that. It's just a special time to wind down, and say, and y'all give this up. You'll never give this kind of thing up, But we bring in folks to hunt and fish and bank with us, but I mean, we entertain a lot on that bayou. So it's
nothing
special
like
place.
It is a special place. I always say if we can get them here, we can keep them here. And I say the same thing about this office. If I can get them in the door, 9 times out of 10, they're staying. And so, well, Billy, thank you. Thank you so much to your family just for what you guys have meant to Monroe, for the way you've invested in the community. I feel like Monroe's a better place because of you guys.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. And again, I want to thank you and the chamber and your dad for keeping his business here and keeping Origin Bank here. And thank y'all for your hard work. It's going to show. Y'all got a big job, but you got a lot of opportunity.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.